Good news is I got a very good night's sleep. I'm jet lagged. I mean, I was jet lagged, so I ended up sleeping for like 10 hours and stuff. I'm wearing my Utah jacket, and currently we are walking to the MTR, which is the Metro Rapid Metro Train Rapid something. Okay, so we are going over there because from there we can get out of here and go to NTU, which is the Nanyang Technological University, where I have to register. And today there is a very special event. Actually, all of the days there are special events where I have to register, and there is a wine tasting thing that's going to happen. So hopefully. And the cool part about this place is that every single place I walk, I can see supercars. What the hell? I can just see supercars upon supercars. Okay, so it's really very cool. And now I think I'm going to be traveling from here, which is Little India, to the NTU for like 1 or 30 minutes, I guess. So I'll see you all directly over there. Bye bye. Okay, so I have reached NTU. As you all can see behind me, this is called the Hive, I believe. And currently I am at the Hawkine building, which is over here, where you have to register and stuff. So I successfully registered after walking for God knows how long. And I got my bag. And I also got my IG card as a presenter. So let's go. Hopefully, I will make a video explaining how I got here. And hello everyone, this is a 30-second explanation of how I went to Singapore because this video is already too long. So basically what happened is, when I finished my master's thesis, my guide sent me links on where I could actually publish them, and through those links I managed to find an event which was happening called Reconfigurations. And so I basically decided to submit an abstract for the fun of it, because I did not actually think that it would get accepted, because it's anime and whatever. So basically Imagine to my shock when in June I receive an email saying that, hey, your abstract is really nice, congratulations is accepted, come and present a paper over here in Singapore. And I did not know that it was actually happening in Singapore, as I previously must have said. So, yeah, then I told my parents, I told my grandmother, I told my professors, and yeah, that's about it on how I managed to reach like to Singapore. Yeah. And how I am presenting. But other than that, currently I'm just gonna sit, which I'm doing right now, and I think they are setting up, and I'm just gonna admire the view. It's so amazing. Like genuinely look at these buildings; they are incredible. Love them. Just finished with day one. We had an author in talks, a very fun author, very lovely. She was taking an online session like all the way from LA, and it was a very fun session. Really loved it. Especially a quote that stuck with me was like that writing a book is like an accordion, is something very fun. So yeah, overall day one was good. Tomorrow is my presentation, so hopefully my voice doesn't die. And yeah, we will see what happens tomorrow because I have no clue. Let's hope everything goes well. Bye bye. Morning everyone. Well, today it is day 2, and yes, wearing the maroon fit, but also yeah, my sessions just wait up. Apologies because there was some guy behind who was screaming Tamil, I hope, not sure. But anyways, so today's day 2. It's very early in the morning, so early because I have the sessions today start at around 8. So everything will be done at the university itself. I also have to submit my pen drive with my presentation on it, and hopefully things go well. I have my tourist pass right in my pocket, so I can easily go inside and come inside of the MRT. It's the MRT now. I've realized I have to say it like MRT because that's how people know it. It's not MTR. Sorry for the previous one, but yeah, hopefully make it on time and do well.
There's also a few suspicious looking people who've been here several times and they keep coming back. And I just want to welcome you all because it's great. And
Everyone, the very first thing I said this morning was I hope I'm not first, but here I am. So, hello everyone, my name is Gordon Perez. I come from Goa University, and my topic is a blending of worlds, cross-cultural themes in Hayao Miyazaki's Howl's Moving Castle, a classic in Japanese anime, and of course one of the biggest names, one of the biggest faces of anime. So we'll be dwelling into my paper. Okay, so at the very first, we see blending of the West and East, Miyazaki's adaptation of Diana Wayne Jones's British novel. Of course, Diana Wayne is the genius, the mastermind behind this entire story. In this chapter specifically, I follow a biographical account of Diana Wayne Jones. She was born and brought up in London, England, and sadly she passed away in Bristol in the year 2011. So she has authored over 40 children's literature books, and she has been awarded so many numerous awards. But on top of that, she had a very troubling relationship with her parents, and because of this, this story was very influential towards her own life. And on top of that, she overcame many challenges, mostly personal, because she was also dyslexic. But even though she was dyslexic, she authored and she loved reading books so much, and she took a liking towards writing books as well for her younger siblings because her parents, who were mostly teachers, they were not there. They were not present, so she would take care of her younger sisters, and being the eldest, this story resonates mostly with her, and it's one of the most famous ones because, of course, we know the biggest name, Hayao Miyazaki, adapted it into one of the greatest animes that was ever made. And so, of course, Howl's Moving Castle was first published in 1986 by Green Willow Books of New York. There also is, in this chapter itself, a summary of the primary text, which is Howl's Moving Castle, where you get your protagonist, the wizard, the all-powerful Howl, and his moving castle, which is moving along the mountains. It is very placeless. It doesn't have a situated area. It is a constant magical moving castle. And then you have Sophie, who is a common girl. She deems herself to be very ugly. She has no self-confidence. However, it is through Howl she realizes how much beauty there is in this world and how much beauty there can be. And so when she unknowingly taunts the Wicked Witch of the Waste, she gets transformed into a very old Baba, as they call them, old women. And so nobody else recognizes her except for Howl. Howl sees through this magic, and ultimately they fall in love, and this story revolves around mostly them and Howl. Of course, that is Diana Wayne, and that is the original text, which is Howl's Moving Castle. And of course, then you have Hayao Miyazaki. He's one of the only, so far I guess, Academy Award winners for Best Animated Features. He won it first in 2001 for the very famous Spirited Away. And then he did the feat once again in 2024 with another famous work, which is Boy and Heron. It's very incredible. I do recommend watching it. However, he is also an honorary award for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science. And more importantly, what he's known for mostly is that he is the co-founder of Studio Ghibli. It's a very famous trend that recently had occurred, which Miyazaki himself was very against because he hates AI, he hates having his art used for the wrong purposes. And he deemed AI as one such wrong purpose. Of course, going to 1.1, a walk through the town, deconstructing the blend, the European influence, and Miyazaki's reimagination. Now, very first thing you have to look is the architecture. Now, the architecture, as you can see in Howl's Moving Castle, it's very, I would like to use the term placeless. Is that it's a blend of European villages, medieval European villages. It's also modern European cities, mostly dating towards 18th century, 19th century. However, it has soldiers, uniforms, trends, which date almost to the 20th century with the modern French blue, as they would call them, and especially under Napoleon. And you would see this, and you would be like, this architecture. It's very. I found the term Art Nouveau, which is modern art. It rejected the traditional creative styles and reimagined art, and it reimagined creativity to a whole new level. And so this blend, which allowed it to center around so much, as you can see from the castle itself, it's a blend of many things, and it also, this term, placelessness, comes from this moving castle. It is not situated in one place, it does not stop, it's constantly moving throughout the entire film itself, the anime film. It is moving and it does not situate one place. The fact which makes it even more placeless is that it has a magical door. Of course, you all are familiar with Doraemon's magical door, anywhere door. Howl's Castle also has doors which magically transport him to any location that he conveniently wants to go to, be it a trading center, a magical spell, or more specifically, his magical garden. But more specifically, in this modern world, we have seen that there is a globalization. There is a globalization on various goods, but also a globalization on literature. And because literature has become so globalized, so much familiar with each other, to the fact that it has resulted in this, which is cultural hybridity. As you all know, Stuart Hall, one of the greatest names in cultural studies, he calls cultural hybridity as a continuous recreation of culture through the fusion of distinct identities, distinct narratives, distinct cultures, and because of this cultural hybridity, we get an amazing and splendid work like Howl's Moving Castle. And of course, in 1.2, this place is gorgeous how it's like a dream. The natural landscapes as a universal space. Now, mostly this chapter itself speaks about the secret garden that Howl grew using magic. So this is the area specifically that you see magic and realism magical realism come together. And because they come together in this place, it acts like a universal space where everything can blend very well together. And it is in this space that you see characters being at their most calm. Of course, there is a war that is happening side by side. Many have aligned it to the Syrian war, which was taking place in the early years. But also, you can see how nature is is treated as a place of comfort, as a neutral territory. And also, because of the use of magic, of course, Howl also confesses to Sophie when he brings Sophie. That is the very first quote that she says. And she asks him, "Did you use magic?" And he says, "Only for the growth of the flowers." So only to accelerate the growth of flowers, he has used magic. And it's like a very natural thing that he says. And he feels most comfortable at home. And it is also over here that we see when humanity, it collides with nature, the result is always very devastating because the consequences are even more worse. And that is exactly where the Japanese influence comes. Of course, all this time we have been talking about the European, the Art Nouveau. Now, in 1.2.1, nature and Shintoism, the Japanese influence. Of course, Shintoism has its historical background roots in Japan. It's one of the biggest religions over there alongside Buddhism. And also, it is known as Kame no Michi, I believe, which is the way of the gods. And how this religion specifically invites the idea that God is in everything. There is a place for God everywhere, in stones, in nature, in flowers. And you can see this stronger bond of Japanese spiritual and cultural traditions through this anime. It's like as if the nature is breathing. It's like as if the winds which are blowing are all having God inside them. And although there is no exact kami representation in the anime, there is a specific smallest spiritual being known as Calcifer. Calcifer is the fire spirit that fuels Howl's moving castle, this big castle that you see. It's a little bit blurred, I apologize. But this entire castle is being run when Howl is absent. He's fighting off the war machines to prevent them from ever harming humanity. When he's off fighting them, the little devil, the little spirit known as Calcifer, is operating the entire Howl's moving castle basically, and is responsible for all operations until Sophie comes. And Sophie tidies up the place, cleans the place, and of course there is also the little magician who acts like who has the disguise of an old man, so that nobody ever underestimates him. So there is that kami representation, although it's not an accurate one, it's a spiritual one. And of course, then we come to the concluding remarks. I would just like to say that it is because of the globalization that we see in this world today, and of course, the very quote itself, "A heart's a heavy burden," conclusions. Of course, this quote is being said towards the very end. Howl had sacrificed, he had actually given up his heart so that he could be one of the greatest magicians, one of the greatest wizards to have ever known, and so that he could have the ability to fly. But when his heart was taken away, when it was manipulated, when it was burning, when all of this was happening, and all this time the heart was inside Calcifer. So because of which, a result, Howl loses his sanity, he loses his consciousness. And throughout this movie, throughout this film, Howl is continuously depicted as being very self-arrogant. He is like, beauty, 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 being handsome, being beautiful, being the most handsome is the standard for me. I will never fall short of that. Even when he accidentally dyes his hair orange, accidentally, he is like, I'm ugly and there is no place for me in this world. Because he has this very dark hair, very luscious blonde look also sometimes. And when he dyes his hair orange, he's like, I'm very ugly, I have no place in this world. And it is through Sophie that he realizes that even people who are less looking handsome have a place in this world, and it is because of them and because of this cultural blend that exists within our own global world that we can see how well Howl's Moving Castle represents beauty, the ideas of beauty, and challenges the conventional ideas of what exactly can be classified as handsome, beautiful. And more so, I would like to conclude with this remark stating that Howl's Moving Castle is the best representation of our world today because of the interdependence that our world is currently facing, because of how much we cross-culturally represent other cultures, and especially when diasporic writers who are writing from one place, talking about another place, even places like India for that matter, and how Indians who migrate write about India and their fondness of India, and how this culture blends with their perspective and the place that they are currently staying at, and how well it can be represented. Thank you.
The key part of the argument runs right through the whole book. But also for me, the mapping of this feature, this quality. This lecture was actually really super cool because like it had Heidegger and Homike Baba and it explained so many interesting things that I really want to write a paper on, like Alice in Borderland and how there is that intermediate space over there. Yeah, this guy was really cool. And after that, it was pretty much time to leave because now it was day 3. So I checked out of my hotel and yeah, I was going to the university for the final day. So enjoy the view.
This I had my breakfast. I also had my lunch after attending many sessions. There was also a talk with Miss Alice and also Keith. I made some really good new friends. They are incredible. There was also lunch. And after lunch, I attended even more sessions, which were really cool and amazing, and also learned about the ekphrasiastic narratives and how they were so cool. And of course, there was sushi as well. But after that, I also made new friends, talked to people, and also talked to Johansson, my German friend now. And then, of course, I had more food. And yeah. We are finally done with the entire conference. Now only the conference dinner is left. And now my plan is very simple. So I have to get to the airport at 4:55 a.m. I know. So what I have done is I have checked out from my place of stay, and now the plan is very simple: attend the conference dinner, network with people, get contacts, of course, make everlasting research friends that actually care about research, and after that, basically, it's to run. Like, I'm not even kidding, run. The very simple reason is because, oh wow, look at this. Anyways, so the reason why is because one of the yeah, that's what we are called, the presenters. One of the presenters told me that there is something in the Changji airport that I really want, and that is Pokemon. There is a Pokemon Center, an official Pokemon Center with official Pokemon cards. So I really want those. So hopefully my plan of running as soon as we finish with the conference dinner works out. I get to get my Pokemon cards, and then finally I will have an official Pokemon battle of TCG in Goa. It might be the first one ever documented and videoed and put on YouTube, but it will be the first one, hopefully. Let's see what happens, because I'm unsure about the circumstances and how everything will play out. But so far everything's gone well. My presentation, as you all might have seen, if I put it, that also went very well. Other than that, yeah, everything went fairly good. Wondering what I'm doing right now is that I am chilling. For the past, I think, 3 days or something, I have not slept properly, because I was in this constant stress of like trying to present and thinking of what I'll say, what I'll do and stuff. And so it's like, now I get to finally see the epic scenery. I get to chill, I get to relax, because now currently the time over here is, if I can see, that is, yeah, the time is 5:12 over here, and at 5:30 I believe the buses will start coming. They will take us to our restaurants and stuff, and we'll have the conference dinner later on. And oh wow, there's a fountain. Anyways, so basically that will happen, and immediately I will get on the MRT and run to Changji airport, and then get on the Pokemon Center. But is that a GTR? No, anyways, the thing is, right now all I have to do is relax, breathe in, breathe out, and This is seriously an incredible scenery. Like, I wish I could. Wait, I can show y'all. Like, it's really incredible. I really love this side. I wish I could stay here, but you know, I have to go back to Goa. Have to. Anyways, so hopefully everything goes well now, and I'm able to get to the Pokemon Center before it's 10. Oh, that's a turtle. Anyways, I could not make it to the airport in time, and sadly, I decided to change. And yeah, I could not make it to the Pokemon Center in time. So yeah, I was pretty much dejected, and yeah, now I'm just enjoying the scenery and waiting for it to turn 3 o'clock so I can check in. A little bit sad that I could not make it to the Pokemon Center in time, but yeah, you know, a win is a win anyways because I was still in Singapore. And so I afterwards decided to go and check the airport out and decided to charge my phone and make sure that it was at. Oh yeah, and also I saw the waterfall that I was told about. And yeah, I just waited for it to. I just did anything random that I could entertain me basically all the way till it was 3 o'clock. And yeah, there was also this that I really enjoyed. I think it was like artificial rain or something. And all of this was really cool to see because like now I was leaving Singapore. And yeah, basically I had to wait, I had to chill at places. A quick update on where I am currently. I flew from Singapore to Changi Airport yesterday. I mean today in the morning, and I slept my entire way through until I was woken up right before the arrival in Chennai. So yeah, I'm currently in Chennai, and I wanted to get on the I wanted to do the checking in. I wanted to do the checking in, but then they were like, "You're very early because your flight is at 4:55 in the evening. I'm finished." So what I do is the other thing was that the officer told me like you have a lot of time, just go enjoy Chennai or something. And I was like, I'll go and enjoy Chennai. And there's this very cool mall over here, right next to the airport. But the thing is, the problem is that the mall does not open, and the time currently was 8:39. The mall opens at 10. So what after like watching a Sidemen video, I decided, okay, yeah, you know what, might as well go to the food court. So I traveled all the way, and now I'm at the food court. I don't recommend the Korean wings from Burger King. They did a lot more number on me than that unlimited buffet at the Grand Hyatt Hotel. That was genuinely horrific. But yeah, now I'm just waiting for it to become 4 o'clock so I can go check in and wait for my flight and finally reach Goa. Hopefully. And finally, I'm home. Okay, yeah, but now getting to the more meaningful part of it, you must be questioning Gordon, or Mr. Marvel, however you address me. Uh, why did you do this? Why did you go to Singapore? And why this entire trip and everything? Um, the very simple answer is knowledge. Like I got introduced to so many topics that I didn't even know existed, so many concepts that I didn't know were existing. And the more important part that I got the first hand experience of seeing them being reinvented, reapproached, and reconfigured. And it's like the experience of a lifetime. Like I did not even think that my abstract would be accepted, but the fact that it got accepted and I was allowed to go is truly incredible. And I'm really thankful for all the support that NTU gave me, all the lovely people that I met, and more importantly, the other reason why is this. You see, this is by NTU, and this is basically something incredible because they issued me. They issued me this. Dear Gordon Alvarez, on behalf of Organizing Committee of Reconfiguration's 20th and 21st Century Literature and the Arts Conference, I'm pleased to extend our sincerest appreciation to you and your valuable participation as a presenter at the conference held from 3rd to 5th October at the School of Humanities, Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. Your presentation greatly enriched the discussion and contributed meaningfully to the exchange of knowledge among participants. We are grateful for the time and expertise you shared with our academic community. Thank you once again for your contribution, which played a key role in the success of the conference. We look forward to the possibility of your continued engagement in our future events. Best regards, Professor Neil Murphy, Chair, Reconfigurations 2025 Organizing Committee, School of Humanities, NTU. And then there's the URL as well. So, basically, this was the reason why. Like, it's not just like I'm getting new knowledge, I'm learning new concepts. I mean, I did learn a ton of new concepts. I learned a lot, and I'm willing to bet that some of these concepts will be even unknown to like my professors, and like to see, like to get the first hand experience of seeing these concepts being reimagined and reconfigured, and more importantly, seeing old concepts and old theories being reapplied and newly applied to even older artists and being seen in a new light. It was mind blowing because such kind of experience you really cannot get, like at all, basically. In like usually you cannot get it at all, but through these mediums and through such appreciation, by the way, I am truly blessed that I got the chance to present my research at an international level. And if I could, I would absolutely do it all over again. And I wish I can. But who knows what the future holds. But anyways, that's it. That's the video. So if you have watched it so far, because I'm assuming that the vlog is going to be in the double digits. If you have watched it so far, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.